Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fat Mascara.
Hi, everybody. It's Garrett.
I know, I let you say your name first. That's Garrett. I'm Jenn. Hi.
How's it going?
Good for me, good for me. If you guys are confused, because aren't we due for a Julie? Julie left me and Garrett. She's in Martha's Vineyard, living her best life.
Living it up. I don't know if you watched her Instagram stories, but it's like a movie every day.
I look forward to it every year because I know her family goes there every summer. And I just feel like I'm part of the fam. I'm like, I want to go with the Wilsons to the Martha's Vineyard this year.
They look like they have the best time.
They really do. We hope you're having fun, Julie. And Jess is off doing her Moda thing, momming. It's a Garrett and Jenn week. So welcome, everyone.
Here we go.
Here we go. I've already gotten DMs. People want an update. How you sleeping? How's your beauty sleep, Garrett?
Well, I will say after the last episode that I was on, I got a few DMs too from people asking about the service that I used, Blue Sleep, to refer to mostly their husbands. But also from a few people that said that they also use CPAP machines and how great it's been and whatever. So I know that it takes a little bit of time to get used to. I have had mine now for a week. And I think that it has already made such a drastic improvement. Even last night, my husband was like, you have so much more energy. Truly, it might have been because I was super tired. But the first night, I slept completely through the night for the first time in years.
Were you surprised? Did you wake up and you're like, wait, where am I? What is going on?
Yeah, I woke up 7 hours later and I was like, what happened?
That's how it should be.
I was at the gym that day and I was like, God, I have so much more energy. I feel great. What happened? What changed? And I was like, oh, I slept.
It is the miracle cure that it's made out to be by good sleep is a necessity.
It is crazy. I mean, after those first 2 nights where I think that I was super tired, I need to kind of regulate a bit more. I might need a different mask. I don't know. There's a period where you have to kind of adjust everything, but for the most part, it's been wonderful.
I'm excited for you. I'm sure the listeners will be glad to hear that. Also, I still will put links. I'll put links again this time. Everybody knows they can go to the episode recaps, right? I'm asking the people out there. No, I mean, obviously I can't hear you answering, but at the bottom of the little episode description, it says recap. If you click on that, me and lovely Ellie, our intern, do a whole every study we mention, we link to. If Garrett mentions something in his life, that'll be there. Products are there. The codes for our sponsors. It's a great resource.
It really is. You guys are thorough.
We try. We like to be thorough. Speaking of, we have a very robust episode. So I feel, plus a game that I've derived that I've coerced Garrett into. It's sort of a game.
Wait.
So we're going to do that.
What's going on with you? I want to hear your update.
I'm excited about my game. My doves flew the coop.
Oh.
We're just hanging in there in August. Things are good. Oh, Wolfgang is going to be a little bit involved in this episode as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll still be animal updates from Jenn.
Love it.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it. Let's go right on. Okay, so I get to start this off today because I have something that I'm dying to talk to you about. And it is that Dolce Gabbana recently came out with a perfume for dogs. As dog people, I don't know how I reacted to this news because I have mixed feelings about it. I think that dogs deserve everything, right? I love my dogs and I love them so much. But I was like,
Elvira, you've talked about them on the pod, right?
Yes, Elvira and Morty, which is short for Morticia, but she's definitely more of a Morty than a Morticia. But I was like, would I get them perfume? I don't know. I have been told that they smell really good by the dog walkers.
Okay, but they have fur and you ostensibly groom it, whereas I have a skin dog.
That's true. I also was like, well, maybe my cologne rubs off on them because I'm hugging them all the time.
It's possible. Side note, wait, Deadpool or Pool Dog, or who did you tell me about?
Dog
from
Pool.
The Deadpool movie?
Yes.
Dog Pool. Guys, If you picture Garrett's dogs and my dog Wolfgang and they had a baby,
That's
it would be dog pool.
Yeah. Which is like the funniest thing. I told Jen I was watching the movie and I was like, this is the Fat Mascara dog.
Yeah. So go ahead and Google dog pool while we talk about Dolce & Gabbana dog perfume. The name of it is
Fefe? Fifi?
I have it here. There's an accent on the second E. So Fefe?
Fefe?
Fifi? But they're Italian.
It doesn't sound very Italian, I will say. It's named after,
Fefe.
I think, Domenico's dog. It's named after one of their dogs. Fefe? Fefe?
Maybe
Anyway,
Fefe.
I just think it's really funny because like we're coming off of a lot of news around like, I remember last year it was about the baby fragrances in China. You know, Dior came out with the baby fragrance. Now it's like, I was thinking about this because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who just came back from Japan. And he was really struck. He was like, apparently young Japanese people are having less babies. So they're now really obsessed with their dogs. And he was like, there's so many more dog clothes stores. Everyone's dogs are dressed up all the time. And he's like, they're basically like, they're replacing children. And, I've read about that a little bit here in the US too, like millennials, dogs are their kids, blah, blah, blah. It's like kind of this running joke. But I was like, it's kind of true because we do kind of humanize our pets in a way.
Do you dress up Elvira and Mort? Do they wear clothes?
They have worn clothes before. Elvira wore a lot of clothes when she was little. She doesn't love them. My dogs don't love wearing clothes. I bought Morty like a light up neon cowboy hat. But she doesn't want to wear it. They don't like hats.
Okay. Well, I think that's understandable. But will they like Dolce & Gabbana Fefe?
I mean, you went the extra mile and you got a sample of it. So we got to, I have to know what it smells like. Who
gets an A+? It was Garrett's item and he texted me and he was like, did you see this? And of course, immediately I was like, I'm going to order it right this minute. It literally came like 2 seconds before we started recording. So I haven't even smelled it yet, but I have here Dolce & Gabbana Fefe.
I mean, the bottle is like a large green bottle with a gold paw on it. It's beautiful.
It's chic. And I looked at the press release and it says Safe Pet Cosmetics Certified. This is what it says how to use. Spray Fefe on your hands or on a brush and proceed by rubbing or brushing your dog's fur from the middle. See, we've got a problem right there, Garrett.
Your dog doesn't have fur. So can he not use it?
We're going to find out right now. Wolfie. I'm getting Wolfgang. Hold on. Hi, baby.
Oh my God, you brought the whole bed over.
Yes, this is he stole this bed from my friend Allison. Okay, we're going to, what is this meant to smell like?
I know one of the notes is musk, sandalwood, maybe.
What do you think? Do you like it?
Oh.
Let's see.
Oh.
What do you think? Do you like the smell? Oh, he does. Look.
Oh, yeah, he's smelling it.
Do you like it? He looks very confused. And then you just like comb it around your dog? Is this what you're meant to do with this?
I guess. What does it smell like on his skin?
Fresh. It smells like an orange. It's orangey grove, a little bit of musk, but very fresh and clean. Do you like it? Say hi to Garrett. Hello.
Hi. Oh.
Hold your Fifi. Ready?
This is the perfect ad. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Hello. He's like, are we done?
I mean, I will say I have seen other dog fragrances before, fragrances for dogs, but like this is the first designer. I mean, in the story that I sent you, they interviewed a vet who basically was like, it could hinder a dog's sense of smell, which is so important to them.
Yeah, where he spends a lot of his time is in my studio and also where I keep all my fragrances. He is so used to perfume.
Yeah,
I feel like dogs know. They have the most amazing sense of smell. Like, he knows it's me regardless of what perfume I'm wearing.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could wear a really heavy amber fragrance and he can pick me out of a crowd in a second. So Absolutely. I don't know that a little spritz of Fefe is going to bother him. In fact, now he's rubbing all over. I think he likes it.
I mean, the thing is that like, I feel like the key probably is to not overdo it. And to not like spray it in their faces or like, I think that's why they probably say spray it on your hands first and then put it on.
I think this could be nice. Honestly, Wolfgang's not the right one for it because he doesn't have fur. But I know, like, after you wash a dog that does have fur, it's like nice to put something a little glossy and yummy smelling on their fur.
Yeah.
That's safe for them, obviously.
I mean, it's alcohol free, right? Which is what makes it safe for the dogs.
Yeah, I actually was going to say to you that it feels really, really nice. And the base is water, castor oil. I think there might be a little bit of, is that glycerin? I'm not sure. I don't have my reading glasses on. But it doesn't smell like alcohol at all, and it doesn't sting your skin at all, and it's got a really good atomizer.
So it's like it's hydrating almost, like conditioning.
Maybe.
I mean, with the glycerin.
I'm going to use this all week and see what happens with it. But in general, why not? If you have the money to spend on your pet.
I mean, it's kind of the same as like they have like dry shampoos for dogs. They have stuff you can use to refresh
Way
their
has
fur.
a really nice shampoo for dogs.
Yeah. I mean, there's that brand called Pride and Groom, which has like really nice smelling dog products. And they actually have like almost like a foam that you can use without water, like a waterless cleanser for their fur.
I've seen that, yeah.
I feel like there's this whole market of like dog products that you don't have to give them a bath to use. So like things like a fragrance, all that kind of stuff fall into that. Because I don't want to have, my dogs don't need a bath every week. They go to the spa like once a month or so.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know about any of this because all he has is like 2 little tufts of hair on his head. So he gets a bath once a week, but it's so easy because there's no hair. We just bring him to the kitchen sink and like kind of rinse him off. And he has the little tea tree shampoo and we do his skin. Oh my God. I love it.
You know who also does a really good dog shampoo is Malin and Getz.
It's becoming the Malin and Get Stan podcast over here.
But they also...
Everybody drink every time Garrett says Malin and Get.
I have a soft spot because they are pug people also, and pug people always really understand.
Oh, the founders have pugs.
Yes.
Aw, I'll allow it. Okay, so they have a nice dog shampoo. I didn't know that.
Great dog shampoo. Very fresh smelling. But, you know, I think that there's a market for, like, better dog products that just, like, you want to put really good stuff on your own hair and your own skin. Like, you want the same for your dog.
Or dog sunscreen, which I'm still waiting for because technically he's supposed to be wearing sunscreen, says the vet, but, like, none of them seemed safe for dogs. And have you ever tried to put sunscreen on any sort of small mammal? Be it a child, a baby, or a dog? Like, it's impossible.
I think this is a white space that we need to fill.
We don't need to fill it. Here's what we do at Fat Mascara. Now you know because you're a member. We put it out into the ether to the audience, and there's lots of people that work in the beauty industry, and then we say, you can send the residuals to us. We'll take our little cut check. So if you go out there and make dog sunscreen, Garrett and I, you know where to find us. Fat Mascara, Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, and then Wolfgang and Dogpool can be your spokespeople.
Yeah, there you go. There's a whole business plan, whoever out there wants to do it, and Garrett and I can keep reporting on the news instead. Let's move on to, I have a business news item. Actually, this is confusing. So I'm sure you saw this news because it made a lot of headlines that Avon files for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So update, Avon has like 4 different business units, and the one that filed for bankruptcy is called Avon Products, Inc., and does not run the Avon business that we all know and love in here in the USA. But what I think is interesting about this news, we've reported on this before on Fat Mascara, partial reason that they are filing for bankruptcy is because they have so many lawsuits they're dealing with, not the American entity, another entity, dealing with talc. So we've talked about this before, but talc powder, which is found in many cosmetics and obviously used to be in things like baby powder, which are typically made now with cornstarch, can sometimes be contaminated with asbestos, which is why it poses a health concern. So Avon had to deal with this, Johnson & Johnson. But if you saw the headlines and got confused, you're not alone. Even Avon sellers were confused. They're like, wait, is my company going out of business? And so Avon itself, I have a little press release here that they just put out like a couple days ago. The Avon company, a leading direct seller of beauty products that we know and love in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico, wishes to clarify its position in light of recent announcements regarding Avon Products, Inc., which is called API. Avon Company is an independent entity, not affiliated with API, and therefore remains unaffected. So your social selling Avon sellers, your Avon products that you know and love, your Anew eye cream, that was a classic back in the day, all still available.
I found this to be really, really confusing too. And I can imagine that a lot of people who saw the headlines were like, oh crap.
Yeah, I don't always this happened back in 2016 when they, like, divested and made 4 new business units for Avon, and it had to do one of them's owned by Natura Brazil. You know that company, the
Yeah.
big Brazilian beauty conglomerate. And actually, Avon, I remember doing a story on this. I think I was at Marie Claire. It's huge in Brazil, and the social selling model is still, like, as of when I wrote the story, was still up and running well, whereas here there's been some social selling kind of fell off when TikTok shops and all that came up.
Oh. But I'm sure that they use all those resources still, like TikTok and
Yeah, the Avon sellers for sure. So they're still there. Don't worry, guys. But that was confusing. So I thought it was worth clarifying. And also just reminding people that if you use products with talc, use them sparingly. Do not use them near your genitalia. Baby powder with talc does not belong on small children. There's been links to cancers like mesothelioma because the talc can be contaminated.
yeah, that was a good reminder. I mean, I was shocked at how many lawsuits are still pending about the talc thing. In those it was like something like 400 or something. It was like crazy.
Yeah, because it's so hard when it's over years and being able to show that it was because of the talc or the powder or the particular product from a particular brand. I'm not saying it wasn't, but like you can imagine why these are going to drag on for a while.
Totally. But it's good to know that it's not the US version so that people can still get their Avon products if they want.
That's true. Should we, Garrett, go to my favorite place, the Science Corner?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you see the news? Dyson. Why did I just say? I just made it into like a water. Dyson. Makers of vacuums and hair dryers everywhere are getting into products. What was your thought?
I mean, I was like, it was only a matter of time. They're so focused on beauty. Their gadgets are incredible. Their devices are awesome. So it's like, why not?
Yeah. So the line of products, this is what I thought was interesting and worthy of Science Corner because it can be a little bit confusing. It's called chitosan with a capital C. That's what they're saying is both the proprietary complex in these products and also used in the names of the products. And so I was like, I know that word from somewhere. So I went back in some research. I just put it into old interviews. And I had talked with Dr. Adam Friedman, a dermatologist, about this ingredient years ago. It's a polysaccharide with film-forming properties. So it's used in lots of hair products already. This is chitosan with a lowercase c. That's the sugar, the film-forming sugar. So they're now making chitosan with a capital C, and they're calling that their proprietary complex. It's a macromolecule that holds hair shapes without the crunch of conventional styling products.
Oh.
So I find this so confusing, though, because why did they name it the same name as the actual ingredient and just capitalize it? People are going to think that's the original chitosan.
I think proprietary ingredients are so confusing and frankly very misleading to people.
Why so?
Well, because I think it's kind of like you don't know what's in them, right? Like in this case, what I was reading about the chitosan thing, for the Dyson
Capital C chitosan.
Capital C, is that theirs is vegan, so it's derived from oyster mushrooms. Whereas with the lowercase c, it's usually derived from shellfish. But I'm like, is that the only reason?
That was one of my Science Corner talking points. Thank you, Garrett.
Well, sorry to scoop you there, but
No.
I will say it's like, that's a clear difference. But if they're calling it a proprietary ingredient, is that the only difference? Because when you say we have this proprietary complex, whatever, you don't have to divulge what's in it always, right? So sometimes people are like, we have this new thing that has like peptides and whatever, but they don't have to say exactly what they are. So it can be kind of misleading because you're like, what does it do? What's in there? How much of it?
Last week, Jess said one of her friends, whenever they're talking about a beauty story, an ingredient story, and you're just like, I'm not sure. She calls it hocus pocus. So I was like, oh yeah, like extract of hocus pocus.
Totally.
You know, you've been through many desk sides where you're like, isn't that just glycerin and like encapsulate? Like, you know, they can call anything proprietary. It makes a beautiful marketing story when it might just be the same ingredient, just like in a new form. I'm not saying it is here. I just thought it was confusing they gave it that name when this is a beloved beauty ingredient.
Right. I mean, I think it's very confusing because at least call it like at least spell it differently or something that like, yeah, Chitoplex but you know.
There you go, Mr. Dyson. That's for free.
You know, to your point, like I've also been in meetings where I'm like, well, what is in this complex? They can't tell me. Either because they don't know
Because it's proprietary
or
they don't
they
even know.
won't tell me. And I'm like, I don't want to just take your word for it that this is some sort of, that all this stuff is in there and it's going to do all this stuff for me. It's like, it's just, I think it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit of a way around divulging what's in your formula.
Yeah, which of course is something brands want to do because if it is actually special and works in a unique way, they want to have the only products that use it. But I do think a lot of that, even with the patents that they try and get on some of these complexes, is a lot of marketing because then it looks like, ooh la la, they have a patented proprietary complex and you're excited about it. That isn't to say the products aren't great. In fact, Chitosan is in, Kristen S., the hairstylist?
Yeah.
Her line's been using this for years. One of my favorite products of hers called Hair Water, which is kind of funny. It sounds like hocus pocus, but it's got oils and chitosan. It's like if you don't want dry shampoo, but you want to refresh your hair and you have curly or wavy hair, like it sort of just like smooths it and refreshes the curls. It works on straight hair too, but it's just a refreshing mist that like smooths it down. That uses it. And then Dr. Friedman, the dermatologist, was telling me he often recommends it to people with oily skin in a face wash because it has an oil binding property.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, for example, Murad's Essential Sea Cleanser, which is really popular, has this ingredient in it as well. Obviously, the one in the Dyson is slightly different. They've structured it in this special, like Dyson engineered way, they say. So I just thought it was worthy, like digging into in case anybody's like, what the heck is chitosan?
I mean, the products sound promising no matter what.
They always do a really good job of R&D over there and like really trying to find the pain points in whatever people are using and then fix it. So I have ordered these and I'm going to be checking them out and I'll let you all know what I think.
Oh, can't wait.
Garrett, do you want to play a game?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. So
I've never wanted to play any game more than I want to play this game.
This is why I love you because you're game for this. And I just feel like, not that Julie or Jess wouldn't be, but I was like, Garrett will do a game with me. So here's what I wanted to do. Fresha. So Fresha came out with a survey. Fresha is an app that helps you book local beauty and wellness treatments and services. So in their marketing materials, they came out with a survey that they did using Google search analysis to find out like what treatments are popular where, but they focus specifically on the ones that are like celebrity-driven fads, right? So they analyzed search in state-by-state level, including different treatments, but then they would also go back and find out which celebrity had spoken about that treatment to sort of help narrow down who and why people are searching for it. So I have here a map of the 50 United States and the wildest celebrity wellness treatments in every state. So I don't know if this is a game. I don't even know how to say it, but I want you to tell me state and we'll look it up and we'll see what is in the last year the most popular celebrity-driven fad in that particular state. Some of these I don't know if either of us are going to know, but give me a state.
We're going to start easy. Let's do Florida.
Florida, B12 injections.
That sounds like a Kim Kardashian to me.
Oh, good. You figured out the game before I had to make rules for it. I think that's the way to go. No, Rihanna was the one who was promoting that. Have you ever gotten a B12 injection?
I have many times. I don't love them, to be honest.
Okay.
I already take a lot of B12, so it's like I don't necessarily need to have more. I mean, people love them, though. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that that's the Florida one.
I know, and that's the only state in the whole 50 states that has the B12, where some other ones are repetitive. Okay, give me another state.
North Dakota.
Okay, in North Dakota, the Diamond Facial. What celebrity do you think was promoting the Diamond Facial?
I don't know. Jennifer Aniston.
Mila Kunis. Really? I think also the Diamond Facial is a proprietary name for one of those handheld wands that uses diamond powder to do an exfoliation treatment at the facialist office, just in case anybody was wondering what that is.
Yeah, isn't it the Diamond Glow? Is that the same thing? Because that's the Allergan.
That I think is probably, like the brand name one of it. So I'm guessing that's what we're talking about here.
Okay.
Let's hope you don't get a state where I don't know what this is, but give me another state.
Alaska.
Okay. In Alaska, sensory deprivation tank is the most searched celebrity beauty and wellness fad. Have you done it?
I have.
Me too.
What do you think about it?
I do not need to be alone with my thoughts.
Same.
Thank you very much.
Same.
You know who does? Emma Watson.
Oh, well,
That's
of
the
course.
celebrity.
She's like all about that, I'm sure. I will say the one time that I actually liked the sensory deprivation tank, I did it when I was on mushrooms.
Oh, trippy.
It was like a microdose plus a float. It was meant to be done in combination. I wasn't
so
like
you
tripping.
don't feel the trippiness of the magic mushrooms because it's microdose.
Right, but it kind of like it makes you a bit more aware of your thoughts, and it's a little bit less. It's less. I felt less stressed out in that.
Oh,
environment.
okay. I see. I don't know. That might stress me out more if I'm not able to think. All right, let's do another state. Pick one.
Texas.
I could do this all day. I don't know how long the
Same.
listeners will stay with us, but let's keep going. Ice plunges. That is very popular right now.
That's very popular. That does not surprise me.
They're also in Texas. It's really hot there.
It's hot, and I feel like a lot of this is going to sound really weird, but a lot of the fitness people that I follow on social media live or have moved to Texas for some reason.
I was going to say there's a huge influencer community in and around Austin and also Dallas.
Yeah.
Like a lot of big influencers live there. And I saw one on TikTok who built an ice plunge in her home. Instead of putting in a hot tub, they put in an ice plunge in their backyard.
I mean, that's a big trend too. Yeah, if you have a yard.
People with yards can do this.
My gym advertises some brand that like of home ice plunges you can buy.
I did it once at a spa and then once in my own home, but with my own, like with a whole ton of ice because I had to do it for a women's health story I was writing.
Stop it.
But yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. I would rather do cryotherapy.
What's cryotherapy?
Like when you're like in almost like a freezer.
Oh, I've never done that. That's like dry. It's not
dry.
Ice plunge. It's like dry and cold. But does it also give you that like dopamine rush?
It's the same idea. It's just you're not in water, basically.
And probably way more expensive to like execute because those machines probably cost a lot.
I mean, you have to like go to a place that has it.
Yeah. Well, that's what Lady Gaga did because she's the celebrity for that.
Is she really for ice plunges?
Yeah, for ice plunges. But I know tons of celebrities that like have been promoting that for health reasons.
Totally.
Okay, 2 states. Go ahead.
Ooh, Ohio.
I found out from my stepson that Ohio is the meme state. I'm sure if you have kids out there or you're young, you know that. But he thinks Ohio is hilarious, but yet can't explain to me why Ohio is hilarious. Anyway. Salt water for acne.
Wait,
That makes me
what?
upset. Salt water for acne. This was like trending on TikTok not too long ago that people would be like, oh, I go in the ocean and my acne clears up. So then they took that to mean I'll make salt water at home and use it on my face. And every derm I've spoken to about this has like debunked it. Like that's not a great way to treat acne. But according to what celebrity it is, who do you think?
Oh my God, I can't even begin to imagine who was promoting this.
This is an impossible task I've given you.
Hailey Bieber.
Garrett,
Did I win?
you're right.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
Dude, I can't believe you got that. They like every celebrity under the sun is on this thing. She's only on here once, and it's because of that. You know what? Just for that, everybody, we're going to be done with our game because Garrett won, and you're sick of it.
Wait, but why are people in Ohio trying to cure acne with salt water? I want an Ohio listener to call in and tell us.
So this is clearly this is not scientific because they just put geographic parameters on search analysis for Google. Maybe there's like something, it could just be the timing that they did. Like, I don't think it's specific to Ohio that more people have acne, for example, whereas in Florida, what was the Florida one? Oh, B12 injections. In Florida, they're all tired and need like a little energy shot and some B12. Yeah. I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure Fresha just wanted us to talk about them, so they put out this fun survey.
I mean,
and
it
here
is
we
fun,
are doing it. It could also be, though, as I'm looking here, because Jennifer Aniston is the celebrity for Montana, Nebraska, and Nevada. Like maybe it's by which celebrities are popular in which states. That might also have something to do with it.
That's true. But like, is Hailey Bieber like especially popular in Ohio and no other state?
Well, I think we can extrapolate wildly and say yes. In a very unscientific manner.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Okay, before we go, I'm going to tell you in New York, snail facials, thanks to Victoria Beckham, and then in our hometown, so you're North Carolina, right?
Yes.
In North Carolina.
Oh, God.
Hemorrhoid cream for wrinkles.
Oh, my God. Linda Evangelista.
What does that say about North Carolinians, Garrett? Do you want to speak for your state?
I'm not going to speak for everyone in that state, but I will say if we're going off just that trend, that's like a grandma trend.
Yeah, it's old school. Well, Sandra Bullock's the one out here. There is some truth to it, too. It is a vasodilator, so it can tighten up
Totally.
blood dilation in the face.
Derms do say to not put it on your face.
Right. It's drying and like too strong and all that. There's like a little bit of truth in that one. But anyway. Okay. And last one, Philly, Pennsylvania. Where are you, Pennsylvania? Snake Venom Moisturizer, thanks to Katie Holmes. That's an old one.
Snake Venom Moisturizer? I haven't heard about that in a long time. Is that still a thing?
Yeah. Well, there's a proprietary complex made out of snake venom that had a sort of like, they tried to market it as like Botox in a bottle, sort of that it would freeze the muscles, and it barely did that. But that's an old one.
But wasn't there also like a moment similar that for lip plumping? It was like using
With
some
the
sort of
snake venom?
either snake venom or bee venom or something that was like some sort of venom would like plump your lips.
Yeah. And now here we are. Everybody's going to start Googling these things again and just throw off the data at Google search. You never know. There could have been like a local news story about X, and that's why people were studying it. But
Totally.
I'm just impressed that you won the game because you knew Hailey Bieber was using salt water on her face.
I mean, I'm just a lucky guy. That was a total guess.
Well done. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll go raise some wands. Okay, it is time to raise a wand. No more games. We're done with the games. We're raising wands. Listener Molly from Berlin, she had a question for us. Hit it, Molly.
Hi, Jen and Jess and the entire Fat Mascara crew. This is Molly calling in from Brooklyn, and I'm actually looking for a raise a wand recommendation specifically from Jen. I am going to Berlin tomorrow. I'm going to be there for a few weeks, and I was wondering if you have any real holy grail products that you like to pick up when you're in Germany, either stuff that has better formulations over there than you can get here, or things that are just easier to find over there than you can in the States. I have been to Berlin a few times before, so I know the basics like Weleda, and I don't know, I always get Nivea sunscreen when I'm there, but I'm curious if there's anything else a little bit more under the radar that you'd recommend. Okay, thank you so much. Love the show. Bye.
I love that you're asking me. Have you been to Berlin, Garrett?
I have, but very briefly. I did not spend that much time there. I would love to go back.
You would love it. It's like it's my second city home now. So I love that Molly's asking me about this. And since you're there a couple weeks, you will still be listening to this while you're there. So you can get these two things I'm about to tell you about. Nivea cream. Everybody knows Nivea cream in the blue tin, right? The little flat tin. It's good for everything. I am telling you, and I've looked at the ingredients, it is different in Germany. German Nivea is so good. It hits different in Germany. I don't know if they're using some German spring water as the base or they whip it slightly differently. And I'm not the only one who thinks this, because when you search for Nivea cream, like the basic Nivea cream we all know, on like Amazon and a couple sites, they will be like, do you want the German formula? You can buy the German formula. So when it comes, it has like the German writing. So double check when you're in like the Apotheca and you're like shopping, Molly, that it's the one that's for Germany with like German language on it. And it is so healing and so good. I would probably, if you're not oily or like acne prone, I would put it on my face. But it's good for burns. It's good for dry little hands. And I don't know, I love it.
Is Nivea a German company?
Yes. Well, its parent company is Beiersdorf, huge German conglomerate for beauty. So yes, I guess that's why. Maybe they have like the special version that they only make for Germany. And then we all get or because of the EU versus US and Canada's regulations. And anyway, just get the German Nivea, trust me. And then the other one, remember when Airborne was like the hottest thing, like you couldn't fly without Airborne tablets?
Yes.
So I used to love them and I thought you'd get vitamins too. I went to get them the last time I flew and they were $18 a tube for the effervescent kind of tubes. I also just love effervescent things when I'm traveling. I don't know why. I feel like they like settle your stomach and just make you feel like makes me drink more, I think. Actually, that's probably what it is because you have to put it in a full glass of water. So like then you are hydrating, which is so important when you're traveling. $18. So I was like, I'm not getting these. However, my stepson, he's like they're very into like vitamins, but it's almost like vitamin candy there. Everything has vitamins, like the gums and the lozenges and things like that. I found these things. They're called Mivolus. Mivolus? Sounds like a Disney villain. Mivolus. It used to be Das Gesunde Plus, which was like the old German name, which is like the healthy, the very healthy, the healthy one. They're effervescent vitamin tablets. So you can get them with magnesium, with vitamin C, multivitamin, B12 probably. And I was like, this is pretty much the same thing as Airborne. I'm sure Airborne's like writing their suit right now to like sue me over that. But it's a vitamin effervescent tablet that you take. I like to take when I'm traveling because it makes me drink more water and everything. $2. It's actually probably less than $2 with the exchange rate. It's like, I don't know, €1.25. And you get them at any drugstore and they come in a tube and there's like 10 in a tube and it's so much less expensive than that similar kind of thing that I've seen in the US.
That's fascinating. They have good vitamins in Germany.
Right. Have you noticed that too?
I use a like probiotic that's German, and it is the best probiotic I've ever used in my life. It's so good.
I mean, it is where modern homeopathy and like certain types of medicine got its start. They've just like they were bit like Birkenstocks, like the hippie. I don't know. I'm really, this is just my own personal theory. I don't know this to be true, but like Veleda, Hauschka, all these brands that are very natural and homeopathic are started there. So I just think it's in the culture to like be into vitamins and things like that.
I also just think that we hear so much about like K-beauty and J-beauty and all that stuff, but Germany has a very rich history of like wellness and health, which dovetails to beauty. Then I think that they have great products.
So Molly, we hope you're having fun in Germany. Enjoy your trip. You know, I was thinking about this actually. This could be our next homework. Moving on from dynamic duos. Products people have discovered. I want to hear from people. Call us 646-481-8182. Products you've discovered while you're traveling from abroad, wherever you live. I understand not everybody lives in the U.S., so you might live in Malaysia. Interestingly, we have a lot of listeners in Malaysia. Hey, Malaysian listeners. So when you're traveling, what do you like to get? That's what I want to know. What about you, Garrett? Do you have any like discoveries from abroad?
I mean, the one that comes to mind first is when I was in Japan, I got this moisturizer. It's more of a body moisturizer, but it's hard to describe because it's a very, very simple, gentle lotion moisturizer. It's in a little teddy bear shaped bottle and it's called Mommy Milk, which sounds foul, but you're kind of because you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to like rub this on my body. It's called Mommy Milk, but I realized that when you're in, I mean, at least my thought is when you're in a foreign country that you don't speak the language and you can't read the language, if you're going to buy beauty products, buy baby products because they have less, they're gentler, they're usually simpler. This is like a baby lotion, but it honestly is one of the best lotions I've ever used in my life.
I like that idea. You're right, because it's not going to have an active that might be irritating, and you're probably going to be able to pick it out of the lineup just from its packaging and pictures and the way it's marketed alone.
Totally.
So you got Mommy Milk when you were in Japan.
Out of all of the stuff that I bought there, like all the sheet masks, all of the like bath products, all this stuff, that's the one that I still wish that I had bought more of. Mommy Milk.
Okay. I love that. And I'm sure our listeners are saying to themselves, oh my God, I discovered this thing. Like, please call us, let us know. Again, the number, 646-481-8182.
I would also love to hear, like, if you're an international listener and you come to the U.S., what you're excited to buy from the U.S.
Oh.
Because I think from being in the U.S., we tend to, like, romanticize international beauty products. Do other people want to come here and buy stuff? Like, I think that would be cool to know.
Tell us. Oh my gosh. This is a good one. Okay, everybody call us, text us, tell us. We want to hear. Or you can send a voice memo to info@fatmascara.com. Okay, let's raise our wands so you can go get your beauty sleep with your CPAP, your new best friend. You want to go first? What are you raising a wand to?
Well, since we were on the topic of alcohol-free fragrances, I am really excited about this new men's cologne from Dior. And it's called Sauvage Eau Forte. It just came out last week. And it is completely water-based, which I think is really fascinating. I know Baby Dior did it last year, a year or two ago. This is new for men, for the men's market. I also will say, I know I'm talking about a men's fragrance, but I know so many women that wear Sauvage that
Oh, really?
yeah, I have a lot of like female friends that love Sauvage. So I think it could be unisex.
So is it the Sauvage franchise? Like, tell me
Yeah.
how Forte is different.
So basically, I interviewed Francis Kurkdjian about this fragrance before like a
love him.
month or two ago.
He's the perfumer.
He's the perfumer for Dior.
yes.
You also, he also has his own brand. He's been around forever. Iconic perfumer. I was so starstruck. I was like so nervous to interview him because I think he's like so badass. But Sauvage is the best-selling men's fragrance in the entire world. So I asked him, I was like, why, this is your first men's fragrance for Dior since you started at Dior. Why do a Sauvage and not a brand new pillar? He was like, why would I mess with the number one fragrance in the world? So
he gives the best quotes. He's just like so like matter of fact. And you just, when he says something, you're like, yeah, the genius has spoken.
Totally. So basically, there's all these like different versions of Sauvage. There's the original Eau de Toilette. They just came out with an elixir a couple years ago, which is like the most potent, boldest one. This one is more, it's like between an Eau de Parfum and an Eau de Toilette. So it's not super aggressive. It's more on the fresh side. But what's so fascinating about it to me, not just because I love the fragrance, Sauvage is an iconic fragrance. I don't personally wear it very often. This one feels a lot more modern and kind of interesting to me. I like the scent profile of it a bit more than the original Sauvage. And a lot of the reason for that is because of the water. He was kind of explaining to me how they make water-based fragrance. And not only do you have to test it in its final form, because the water changes the way the notes smell. So you can't, with an alcohol, you can smell it without the actual carrier and know what it's going to smell like. Whereas with a water-based fragrance, you have to finish. Oil. Yeah, you have to have the finished product. But I was interviewing him, he gave me 2 testers, one with the Eau Forte, as is, in water, and then gave me Eau Forte in alcohol, as if it was a more traditional fragrance. And they smelled completely different. In alcohol, it was much more astringent, much like zingier, sharper, almost metallic. And I was like, this has citrus. He was like, I didn't use any citrus. With the water-based, it's a lot like smoother and more interesting. It actually has this freshness to it that's not, it's very fresh and cool smelling, but it's not citrusy, which I think is very rare in men's cologne, men's fragrance.
That's so funny. That was the characteristic I was trying to describe about the Dolce Gabbana Fefe.
Really?
I looked at the notes afterwards. It's ylang ylang, musk, and sandalwood, but it still feels fresh. And I feel like maybe it has something to do with the water base, like you were saying.
Probably. I mean, the way that, and he also was saying that the way spices bloom in water versus alcohol is different. This smells like it has a completely different scent or spice profile than original Sauvage. And I asked him, he was like, I didn't change any of it. I basically just rebalanced the same spices. But it smells totally different, which I found to be fascinating. It's like this kind of milky texture, which I was like, is that going to be weird? But it actually was lovely. But I'm really into it. I think it's a really innovative fragrance. And I think it's super modern. It doesn't really smell. You can tell that it's a Sauvage, but it's not as literal as the other flankers. I think it's a really interesting.
That's good too. If you know somebody who likes Sauvage or you like it, like as a gift, then they get to be a little bit different than everybody else. Because it is one of those fragrances when someone's wearing it, I recognize it, which I like that sometimes. But you could do like a little twist, little fresh Forte water-based twist on Sauvage.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's a really interesting fragrance and I'm super stoked about it. That is my Raise the Wand.
Yeah, raise the wand. I bet we're going to be seeing more and more water-based fragrances. There was the Orabella line with Bella Hadid that was all water-based. And I think that it takes good perfumery to do them well, because I've smelled some that just don't smell as good. It might be what you're talking about, which is like the base changes it, so you need to adjust the formula for that fact.
Yeah. I also think it's all in the formulation, because with the Orabella, for instance, it's a biphase, so you have to shake it before you apply it. Remember, they were getting kind of a lot of pushback because people were saying it stained their clothes. And that was because they're like, you're not shaking it before you apply it.
Which one was that you're talking about?
Orebella.
Oh, and so you have to follow the directions. And
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Because otherwise you're just getting the oil part of it.
Correct. But with the Dior, it's all mixed. Like he was basically, I was like, how does this work? He was like, it's basically like making like a fragrance vinaigrette.
It's emulsified. They did it at speed, and like it's never going to settle and break.
Right. Because there's a third party, which he didn't say what it was, but there's a third party that once they mix the oil and water, the third party keeps it that way.
Got it.
Which I think is like a proprietary thing to Dior because they've kind of pioneered this technology.
Oh, so this is a proprietary complex you
Proprietary
actually believe in
complex.
to bring it full thrust. You know I love when the themes come together in the end.
We're really like tying up those themes today. Water-based, proprietary.
Exactly. If you get nothing else from this episode, I'm just going to leave my razor wand at my 2 German-based products that I gave to Molly and also to all of you, my Nivea and my Mivolis. Because I want to leave on this note because I'm really happy that we went full circle on water-based fragrances. We threw vitamins in there a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
B12 came up a couple times. It's a fresh and healthy episode of Fat Mascara. So, Garrett, do you know what I say at the end of every episode? You know it, right?
Yeah. Get your beauty sleep.
I wanted you to say it. Thank you. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.